Oh, I made
Up.
Dad watch Up, and he lost
Oh my God,
it.
we never talked about Avatar.
We
And the
forgot
flying
about
donkey. We forgot about the flying donkey.
Oh
What
my
was the
God.
animation you made me watch?
I made you watch
Up.
Up, and that
Oh
you
my
lost
God.
Up
it.
was
That
such a sweet movie.
It was so sad,
Like-
and it started off with.
Hello, namaste, Zarna Garg here. Thank you for joining us for the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. We are so excited because all 5 Gargs are in the house and we're shooting at the studio live for you guys. So exciting. My husband of 25 years, Shalab Garg, my daughter who's finishing up college, Zoya Garg, my son who's starting college this fall, Bridge Garg, and my middle schooler, Veer Garg. We're all in, and today's topic is entertainment. What are we watching? What are we enjoying? What are we spending our money on? What are we cutting our losses from? What did we watch and hated that we really just couldn't get behind? We're going to get right into it because we're a family high on entertainment and we don't agree on anything. So who wants to go first on what have you guys watched or done in the last year that you were like, this was unbelievably good or bad?
Oh, let me go first.
Okay, go first.
Like a year ago, I remember I started this on a trip because I just had nothing to do when we were in the hotel room outside of like the pool, beach, whatever.
Outside the pool, beach,
beach,
whatever
the
that
resort.
Yeah,
we,
I'm not
a very
taking anything away
expensive
from the
pool or
vacation.
beach resort vacation that we probably paid a lot of money for.
I'm not
but
taking
okay.
anything out of vacation. Great
Okay, go
vacation,
ahead.
whatever.
So,
But the show was Never Have I Ever,
oh,
executive or produced by Mindy Kaling.
Oh,
Shout out
my
Mindy Kaling.
fave. Shout
love-
out Mindy Kaling.
I love that show. That was my favorite show I've ever watched.
you
so far.
enjoyed that show?
That was my. That was,
I thought that show was for girls.
No, everyone.
Again, why
it
do
was,
you have to stereotype? I mean, he enjoyed it.
it was
obviously.
#1 on Netflix worldwide, India. It was #1 on Netflix, and I think in every single region. So every person was clearly watching it.
Mm.
What?
Yeah.
Bridge, have you watched Never Have I Ever?
No.
It's not, right?
It's not for like
Yeah.
grown boys are not watching Never Have I
That's
Ever.
actually not true
He's
at
just-
all.
he's such a hater. He's a
He's
I am not a
literally
hater.
a troll.
He's a
It's
D1
really
well-written
actually
show,
a
but
D1
it's
hater.
So-
corny.
So
He's
for me-
allowed to like what he likes. He's
For me,
allowed.
most Indian people know that in the last 5 or 7 years, maybe 10 years, a lot of Hindi shows came on Netflix and Prime
Yeah.
that were violent in Hindi language, stuff that you would not see in Hindi movies in
Sacred
Bollywood.
Games.
Sacred Games is an example, and that's well known. And most of the shows I really enjoyed. But what that catapulted me to do is to find other foreign language shows
Yeah.
in the native language.
does do that.
So in Spanish, a Mexican show, but in Spanish with subtitles, a Norwegian show, and those have been just
Squid Games?
Squid Games, for example, Korean.
Squid Games
and
is probably
English.
the most popular.
Yeah,
Also,
I mean,
comment down below if you watch your shows dubbed, because I want to know that. I want to have other
They
people's
have dubbed
opinions.
versions?
Like it's
you
what
can
kind
watch it in English. I don't
change
watch it
so
in
that
English.
People like speak in English.
No,
even
no,
though-
but do they do that?
yeah, they do it.
I never do that. I like to
I
keep
watch
it in
my
the.
shows in English, even if they're natively.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like the native language and the emotion that creates, right? The native language. And I don't mind reading about it downstairs in the subtext. But the kind of quality of, but, I was always into romantic shows. And in the last, 6 months, I've really enjoyed Korean rom-com.
I just think it's so funny because so many girls my age have watched Gossip Girl and like watched it when they were really like in teenagers. It's like because it was the first show I think on Netflix, like one of the first ones. So all of the girls my age have watched it. My dad was the earliest adopter of Gossip Girl there possibly was. Watched it live,
Yeah.
watched it when he was growing up, when he was an early adult in New York City. And I just think that speaks numbers about the entertainment he loves. What is
Yeah.
it about Chuck
But
Bass?
this Korean rom-com, this latest one I watched, What is Wrong with Secretary Kim? It's such a cute show, and there's this girl that works with a young guy who's a CEO, and how they fall in love and ultimately get married. Really enjoyed watching it, and there's so many other Korean rom-com stories of that kind. I mean, your mother knows that I used to read Daniel Steele, which is an author that writes. I mean, I don't anymore, but until 20 years ago, I used to. So these Korean rom-coms I've really enjoyed. Really, really enjoyed them.
Rich, what are you watching lately? What are boys your
I mean,
age?
I don't really.
I don't
know,
watch
You know the
TV.
show. Watch TV.
I
You
haven't-
know the
You
show.
watch
Most.
sports.
No, no.
Oh yeah, of course you watch. I watch a lot of
Well,
sports.
but that is a crisis in TV broadcasts, and all the men seem to only be watching sports.
It's not a crisis though. It's a good thing. I don't think
Yeah,
that
no.
like
No,
Ever
but
since-
they're all creating.
Ever
shows
since
that the
Never
men
Have I
don't
Ever, I
create.
haven't watched a TV
Yeah.
show.
You haven't?
I don't think I have.
What do you mean? You watched it with as a family.
Maybe
I see
like
you
as
watch
a
it all the
family
time.
every now and then, but not
What?
like I would never. I don't watch TV shows by myself anymore.
Yeah.
But you
Plus
watch
sports.
you watch The Arrow.
Yeah, I watched this one show called The Arrow. It's like a superhero show. But I don't really watch TV. Like if I watch TV, it's either a sports game or I'm like just like doing something in the
What kind of
But you
sports
also have watched TV. You watched Breaking Bad. You watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
those-
how can you not watch Breaking
Breaking
Bad?
Bad.
The big HBO shows I'll watch. I think they're really all
Silicon
good.
Valley.
But okay, can we talk about something controversial? I dragged you guys to watch every Bollywood movie when you were little.
Yes.
And you were crying. You didn't care if I took the kids or not. And often, this is a true fact, Shalab and I would go watch it, and then I would go again and take the kids because it was so much of a hassle.
I'm emotionally scarred from those movies.
Same.
You are not scarred. You have learned. But
I'm a big fan of the movies that you made us watch.
I'm a
Thank
big
you.
fan
I'm a
as well.
big-
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't have changed anything. I'm so
Thank you.
grateful my mom did
Today,
it.
as a grown up, do you guys see
So
why I made you guys
100%.
do it?
100%.
I made
They're
you guys
really
go, and do
informative.
you not?
Why are they informative? In what way?
Because they should. First of all, they give us a whole sense of like what our culture is in India, like what
Yeah,
we're actually looking. Because we're
totally.
in America, so how else are we gonna know?
Yeah.
It teaches us the language a bit. So like, I actually understand like Hindi now if people are speaking. I can't speak it well, but I can understand it. A lot of like what the real world is like, or more of a world outside of America, like what that's like. I understand now the dangers of it. So I think they're extremely.
I
informative.
understand mom so much
Those
better.
Yeah, I
shows
understand
aren't the
Mom's
type
like
of shows that mom would force me to watch though. Like there was one show where it was a murder mystery. Like I forgot what it was called. It's a murder mystery with like the grandpa and the kid or whatever. Like
Oh. It wasn't a murder mystery.
it was like a woman got killed and they were trying
Oh
to figure out
yes,
who
I
did it.
remember.
Like I
Okay.
literally I forgot how to sleep because of that.
Oh,
that-
what?
I mean, we've watched. Bridget and I have watched it. We watched Kumbhari Mang. That was
Kumbhari
great.
Mang. For those of you who are watching, there was a movie, very popular movie with a very popular Indian actress where she goes through a whole transformation from being like this very ugly, homely woman to being a glamorous superstar. The movie is about that, but somehow these two kids got fixated
Yeah, because the husband kills the,
on the husband
ugly version of
pushing
her.
Yeah, the ugly version into the water and a crocodile eats her.
Yes, it's crazy how
I
a
forgot-
7 and a 5-year-old would find it crazy that their mom made them watch a crocodile devour a woman's face. Actually,
They didn't
just
show all. Okay,
they
little bit.
actually did show every detail
a
of the
little bit.
murder because it's Bollywood and there's no standards.
No, they did. There was a little bit of things shown, but the movie is about this woman's transformation, and somehow it became about this crocodile moment, and both of them started crying, which is a very easy thing to do because she starts crying and then he would follow her. When they were little, she would just cry, "My mom made me do this," and then before you knew it, two kids were yelling, "My mom made me do this." The amount of times I have personally dragged the kids to a movie theater in Times Square or in some random theater in Connecticut just so they sit in a theater and watch these movies. And by the way, just for record and for posterity, none of it was fun for me because the whole movie I had to answer questions. We would have to sit in the back by ourselves and why did he do this? Why did he say this? What
And there
is he
were
saying?
so many questions.
Why are there so many songs? When is this song gonna end? When is this song gonna end? Oh my god, another song after the song that just happened. So much of it. But now you see the value of
Yeah.
what I did.
So grateful. And on that note, I think we love watching TV shows together.
yes.
We love mom and I mean, all of us really love Shark Tank. Love Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Every episode of Shark Tank. Every episode, like
Yeah.
we know it in and out.
and a lot of sitcoms.
a lot of
a
sitcoms.
lot of
We've watched Big Bang Theory in and out, probably. We've watched Seinfeld, obviously. All the greats, Friends.
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your
No,
Mother.
I'm not into How I Met Your
I
Mother.
like
Okay.
How I Met Your Mother.
I think
Breaking Bad, I thought it was so good.
Breaking Bad
Breaking
was
Bad
so
was horrible.
good. Oh
That's
my
about the
God.
guy doing all these bad things. I don't know why you
I
Did
think
you
I-
watch Breaking Bad?
Walter, I mean,
Walter White.
You only watched a few episodes. You have to watch the whole thing.
I think
it was all like mean stuff.
I learned what a man was from Breaking Bad.
What does that mean?
I just learned
What?
I don't even
I
get that.
learned what like I was like, wow, just the way that it was like a woman would never. A woman would
what? Never what?
be in this position where they were like faked, like had all this, like, I don't know, you just learn so much about the ego and like what drives men to do
I mean,
this shit.
I don't want to quote Godfather, but it has many Godfather moments.
Go for it.
No, I don't.
No, but they say that now. And then when I told you guys to go watch Urta Punjab to learn how drug problems are
that was
in
a
life,
lot.
you came home crying. I remember weeping. And every time these kids were weeping out in public, I had to be terrified because not only
I just
was I
wanna-
dealing
No, I
with
just need
weeping
to.
kids, I was so worried that American parents are going to look at me and be like, what is she doing to
No,
this
I
kid?"
need to set the scene. So we as a family, or at least Bridge and I, Bridge is 18, I'm 21. For my 21st birthday, I didn't drink. I actually did yoga. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. Not for any religious reasons, not because my parents told me not to. It's honestly for health reasons, that's it. But my mom was, like any Indian mom, really interested in making sure we did not drink or do drugs when we grew up. Like that was just important to her. And I think that's okay. Her means to do that, though, questionable, right? So it's one thing to tell your kids, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't smoke. Instead of doing that, she showed us a movie on the heroin drug trade in Punjab, right? That is the most, it's got explicit rape shown on the screen. It's got the needles, it's got everything. And that was all for us to learn, do
Lot
not
of dead
drink
bodies.
alcohol,
Lot of
right?
dead
So
bodies.
I think you might have overshot it a little bit.
But do you think it worked?
I think Bridge
did
and I are.
Did you come out of that movie thinking, let's go do heroin?
But why?
Drug was not the thing I took out of that movie. That movie
Yeah.
was so explicit with the rape that like,
Yeah.
the only thing you could think of was like the mission.
It was it was like trauma porn. It was the scariest movie I've ever seen. But you know, anyways,
All I'm going to say is that I have 2 kids who are meditating yogis who don't drink and don't do drugs. And like somebody got something right. Because did you even worry about this?
No, because I mean, I would never take them to a movie. I don't want to go to a movie like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
okay, we've only talked about like movies and stuff. We do other things for entertainment. The boys and I love board games.
Don't say it.
We love board games. I forced Bridge and I corroborate, like we love board games and therefore have forced Veer to enjoy them. Because actually for so many years, when Bridge and I were growing up, we played Monopoly, we played Scrabble, we played all these board games with 2 people. And then when Veer was born, it was like a legendary turning point because we had 3, because these board games can't be played with two people. We would actually invent. Do you remember we would put cards out for a third person that wasn't playing because you can't play these games with 3 people. So ever since Veer was born, we forced him to play. And it's so funny because he's actually the best at all of these games. He has the biggest wins. He's won Catan, he's won Monopoly, he's won... Actually, Monopoly, we'll give it to Bridge. Bridge can play Monopoly. And Catan, I used to win a lot, and these days have been, like, for some reason...
But you win poker.
We play poker.
No.
And
Yeah,
we play
Vince
poker
poker.
as
You
a
have
family.
poker. You have poker.
We play poker
But
as a family a
In
lot.
Catan, you've fallen off.
We play
completely.
poker a lot, and for those of you watching, poker is a great game
Texas
to play as a
Hold'em.
family.
I started off with playing rounders for everyone, so they know
Yeah.
how
movie.
how Teddy KGB.
Can you tell them how give us the quote?
Which one? The rounders code? Oh, what was it? I forget now. The Teddy KGB goes to him. What was it?
Don't splash the pot.
Don't splash the pot. Don't know how does he?
If it's my
It's like, in my house,
in my
I will do
house.
whatever the.
Whatever the I want.
and he says it every
Keep the
time.
effort because we don't want to lose our YouTube rating.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was such a great movie. Rounders. Just
But-
get started off on poker.
But poker, we agree on. There is one form of entertainment we as a family don't agree on, and I actually hate, I detest it. That is amusement parks. I don't see the point in it.
I'm on mom's
I don't
side with
see
this
the
one.
But
logic.
we've enjoyed them a lot.
Yeah.
No, but I hate it. I don't like
Because
when
of the
you guys
walking?
go- And no,
No, because of the scary
the
ride.
risk. I don't want my kids hanging upside down on some random. And you, Bridge, recently went and you told me that you're not gonna get. He promised me that he's not gonna get on the scary rides. And then guess who was on the
He
scary?
was on every single one.
Do you feel regret?
No. Okay, listen. When it comes to entertainment for me, the most fun I have and the most memorable moments for me are like going out with my friends and just doing stupid stuff. Doesn't have to be a TV show. Doesn't have to be anything. Going to a concert, doing something dangerous late at night, going to an amusement park, just things that like give you a rush and like make you feel like you're in the moment. Like you can
Well, he
anyone can
needs his
watch-
own shot of heroin in a different way, Zarna.
Oh, okay.
It does not sound like you absolved him of heroin.
I agree with you in that way, just not
No,
with
but
amusement
Bridge,
parks. I don't like amusement
Why?
parks.
Why could you not go to the amusement park, play all the games, do the smaller rides?
Because you don't want to be that kid who just goes to an amusement park and sits on like a bench and just like reads their book or sits on their phone. No one likes that kid. No one wants to be friends with that kid. It's not
I
even about
am
being
that
friends
kid.
with that kid.
No, but
I don't want to
you
hang out with
like
that kid.
amusement
I like amusement parks. I mean, I definitely don't agree with Bridge in that regard, like in that form of entertainment. Like I love I love boring entertainment. Like I do love reading a book. Like entertainment with my friends, for example, is like every Sunday, my 3 girlfriends and I go to the farmer's market. We love it. We enjoy it so much. We get a coffee and we talk.
Bro, that's
I
like
am
the
going
most
to a
boring
concert.
thing I've ever heard
No,
in my
you
whole
go.
life.
I am going to a concert,
Which
which
one?
I'm really I'm going to Fred Again, which I'm super excited about, which my brothers don't know who Fred Again is. Huge fan.
No idea.
Super
Ridiculous.
excited. But yeah, honestly, I'm a big fan of all grandma activities, especially grandma activities I love walking as a form of entertainment.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's great.
Agree with that.
I love listening to
agree.
podcasts as a form of entertainment. I'm a big podcast girl. I love listening to them when I walk, when I'm walking, just doing nothing. But yeah, Bridge and I are definitely, Bridge is way
No,
more of a
but
thrill
we
seeker
as
than
a
me.
family definitely are not a family that will spend crazy amounts
On
live
entertainment.
events.
Yeah, for sure.
Like people in New York will spend crazy amounts of money on baseball, basketball,
on plays.
Oh yeah, I know.
On
I mean, we
plays.
have
on Broadway
spent-
on
plays.
Broadway.
We
plays,
have spent crazy amount of
musicals.
money to watch your shows,
Which shows?
your comedy shows.
We get them for free. What do you mean?
No, I mean I have often paid a ticket to
What?
invite my
That's
friends.
dumb.
Yeah, but first of all, comedy is not expensive. Shut up. Like
Yeah.
a Nick-
Your shows are very expensive. Zarna.
Okay,
they're not.
We're not
No,
talking
they're
about
not.
I
money.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
Compared to like how much you
Nick's
laugh
game-
and how much.
So
of
do
a
you
good time
guys?
you have.
Now let me ask you guys. Do you guys wish that you had watched a lot of live games growing up? Is this something you regret?
No.
When you're
everything
in-
I've wanted to
if
do
you're
for
not-
entertainment, I've
If you're
done.
not like literally like talking to the players, I don't see any difference between being all the way in the back and just watching it on a screen.
No, there is a difference. Is that when you're there, you're
I don't
with
feel
a
the
bunch
difference.
because you haven't been there enough. When you actually, I've been in the stands and I've been
Like when you were at that basketball game that
We were courtside there. That was
Oh.
like my favorite memory ever.
No, but
But when you're in the stands and you're with a bunch, and this is what I keep saying about the music thing, about everything. It's just you're in the moment. You're with a bunch of people rooting for the same cause, and you're jumping up and down with them. It's fun. I like being in the moment and actually doing something rather than just sitting and just letting and just like enjoying passive activities. I like being active with what I'm doing. That's how I find
no,
fun.
I understand that.
I think, okay, one thing I'll say is I agree with you. I like being active too. I think it's like fun to like be in the moment and enjoy it. But I think you can be active and do passive activities. So for example, like I think watching TV can be a passive activity. But when mom and I are watching Shark Tank, let me tell you, it is as active can be. We are commenting on every pitch. We are commenting on who's who, the product, what product we've seen. And I think that's active in its
But
own
and
way.
it's different. This is apples and oranges because Bridge and I have also watched movies where we're like breaking
Yeah,
down the story
But that's
and the
what I'm
structure
saying. That's active.
and what happened. Where is the inciting incident? Like we will go through that.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not
a lot
saying
of
that Bridge doesn't do that. I'm saying that there's this misrepresentation that you have to be doing something thrill-seeking. Like you have to
Yes.
be moshing in a concert pit or moshing with stands and the people in the sports game to feel that
or
rush.
hanging
concerts.
upside down in a amusement park ride that like literally no one checked.
I will say the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. Most fun was when I went to Rolling Loud. It was a 3-day festival. It was the most. I have never in my life. I think after that experience, I realized what actual fun was because I've never experienced something like that. And I just thought, like, leaving that experience, I just thought my life couldn't get better. Like, it
I
just
like-
could not get better than that moment. That was gonna be the peak of my life because there was just so much fun.
Mom, I will be
He
going
does
to Rolling
not- He
Loud.
does not believe that.
he
When
just
I'm in
said he
Dayton, I
does.
will be going
You
to
are
Rolling
not
Loud.
going anywhere loud.
We're gonna have to have this conversation again in
No.
4 years.
You wait. You really believe that, Bridge?
I really believe that. That was like the most life going home without you don't have a voice because you're screaming the whole time. First of all, I'm also a really large music fan. Like I love music. I've memorized so many songs. I love all types of music, rap, pop, like R&B. I like all types of music.
Hindi.
I love
Yeah,
Bollywood.
Hindi
I know.
music.
I actually
You actually
memorize a
have-
lot of Bollywood music. I have a whole playlist on it. That's really good. So like for me, going to concerts is just like, it's just not, it doesn't even feel real how fun it is. It's just like insane.
Okay, well, we agree to not agree on that one because I don't agree. The concert I don't mind. Actually, you did go to a Drake concert also, which I didn't really love, but okay, you wanted to go. But what I didn't like was that you wanted to be on the floor with not the sitting seats.
Because when you're on the floor, you're jumping up and down with people. You're hitting people's bodies. Like it's like you're in the environment of people like enjoying the music together. Where it's just if you're on a seat, you're just standing up and singing. It's so I prefer what she's talking about is called general admission, is where you're on the floor and you're jumping up and down. When I went to Rolling Loud, they didn't even have seats. It was all general admission, so you had to be like standing up inside of a crowd. But when you're in like seats of a concert, you're just standing and just looking at the artist.
You know what?
I don't like
I
it.
think I have an interesting perspective on this. So like I think that what's it called? Bridge doesn't drink or smoke or anything. And obviously he's not 21, but like a lot of 18-year-olds, especially in New York City, it's a thing to be able to do those things when you're younger. I don't know if you feel this way, Bridge, but like I feel a little bit out of place, especially in parties when like that's the only thing that's going on. Like people are standing and they're drinking and they're smoking, right? When you're in a concert environment, that's the closest you can possibly get to like enjoying that big party scene and not feeling out of place if you're a sober person. So for example, I really prefer college parties that have live music. They do those a lot on campus, and like any party that has live music, I'm there because the center of attention isn't like just having conversations and like who's drunk, who's sober, like who's most socially confident in this like very awkward kind of environment. So I think like when there's live music, it almost takes the pressure off of every person, including people who don't partake in those activities. So I don't know if that's how you feel. I definitely love live music for that reason, and I feel a lot like more close to the people around me. I don't know.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm trying to get what you're saying. I think as you grow and you continue to not drink, which I think is going to be the trend, it's harder and harder to be in those environments and be the only one not drinking.
Yeah, I only felt that way in college.
But it's like a concert?
Yeah.
I
think-
disagree.
No, I think
People
it's
do
easy.
not
No,
drink
you're not
or smoke
saying-
at concerts.
They drink at
No,
concerts.
that's not true.
I've
That's
not
seen
like
them.
you're not allowed
They
to
buy
have.
as they get older and they're able
It's
to buy.
not nearly the same as a party. At a party, everyone
Yeah,
got
party is the
wasted
same.
drunk.
Party is designed to get wasted.
And I never even agreed with Didi's point. I understand what she's saying. That's not how I feel though. I've never been to a party and felt out of place because I don't drink. I make fun. I have fun doing other things. Like it's not like I will there's other things to do. You know, I don't go to parties and stay the whole time. Like I'm not that type of person.
Exactly.
I
But
don't
that's
go to a
but what I'm
party.
saying-
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. When I go to a party, I'm there for the first hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah.
have the best time ever. Then I'm out. Because then at that point, everybody's like wasted.
Yeah.
People are just hooking up. Like it's just not fun. But what I'm saying is that when you go to a concert, you are able to just enjoy the full extent of the experience because there's a whole third party thing that's happening. That's the best part of performances. That's why comedy is so great too. You're bonding over an experience. That's not the same thing as like a Broadway play where you're passively watching, right? When you're in comedy, when you're at a concert, when you're at these things where you're like actively laughing, actively dancing, these are all things that you're immersed in the experience. And I think that is really beneficial. That's what I was saying. But I agree with
Shalabh, you and I didn't grow up with any of this,
you.
right? Did you go to any concerts growing up?
Not concerts, but I mean, there was other means of. I mean, it was not yet the age of the internet,
Right.
so you didn't have
TV.
television in the same way. But we used to have other versions of entertainment, which was also a lot of fun.
Like what?
Like cricket. Cricket was
Oh,
a big source
cricket.
of fun.
Did you go watch cricket live when you were young?
Not live. I mean, I watched one game once, but not really. No, most of the time was just playing cricket with the neighborhood kids,
Or
and-
watching on TV with
or
your
watching
friends?
on TV for sure, but also playing with the neighborhood kids, which was a lot of fun. I have memories of playing like until midnight sometimes under the lights, because it used to be very hot during the day. But if you started to play at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., it would cool down. Then you could play it until late night.
Yeah.
I have memories of, that was a big source of entertainment that I can remember.
I didn't grow up going to any concerts. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted to go to a concert. I grew up watching a lot of Gujarati plays, regional language plays that were actually very deep and sophisticated storytelling events. And I wonder now if a lot of my storytelling comes from those roots.
Oh, wow.
But today I spend a lot of money on magazines. I love reading
Yeah, I mean,
magazines.
like, if I could save every time we bought a magazine money on it, we probably could buy an apartment.
Do you remember the gift I gave you with the magazine?
Yes. And I love, but that's my guilty pleasure because I like reading
But now
everything
you have
about
access to website, these applications.
It's not the same. It's just not.
She likes the physical
especially-
paper.
And when I'm flying, I don't want to log into my phone. I just want to actually, and I rip pages and
Yeah, she does
I make
crazy
notes. I do all kinds of things. So that is my thing. The big issue I have is with the thrill stuff and the concerts. I've started getting nervous because it's too many people and they're yelling and screaming and it makes me scared. But I understand. Look, you are growing up and you're gonna do what you think, you will do what you think is right, even though you learn later on that you're wrong, but you will at the moment. So, quick rapid fire round, your favorite TV show and your favorite movie.
I don't want to start.
Or your favorite form of
Hold
entertainment.
on, wait. Can we
Okay,
have
or
like 10
your
seconds
Or
to think
favorite
real
like
quick?
one.
Okay.
Okay.
That was not very rapid, the whole rapid fire.
Yeah, this
round.
is slow.
That sounds easy.
I can go
I guess
first.
my favorite movie would be The Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
And my favorite TV show would be Sacred Games.
Oh, really?
Wow,
Sacred
favorite TV show is Sacred
Games?
Games?
Sacred Games?
It
Really?
is good. It's good.
Okay.
It was really good.
All right.
Season 1 and 2 both.
Anybody else wants to go? Because I can go.
Go,
You
Mom.
go.
I loved watching. Remember, we watched The Office during the pandemic?
Yeah,
Oh,
Didi introduced us.
The Office.
So
She loved that
good.
show.
The Mindy Project,
A lot.
getting acquainted with that was a huge thing. All the Karan Johar movies. I mean, where to begin? Go
Yeah.
back to the first one, up to the latest one. His way of storytelling is just right
Yeah.
for our family,
Totally.
for us. And I remember watching Lily Singh as a YouTuber when we were.
Yo, I loved
I
Lily
love
we
love
Singh.
her
watched
videos.
all her YouTube videos. Like, we used to wait. It was Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and
remember?
Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays.
And we would wait for the mom and dad.
It was
Anytime
so
Manjeet
funny.
and Paramjeet showed up, it
It
felt
was-
like
yeah.
It
somebody
was
in our
so
family.
funny.
So, I mean, all of these. And then now, currently, all the stand up comedy, good and bad, I watch it all because I'm trying to learn what's happening in the market.
For me, I think the two shows that I still watch and I love, I really, really like Tom and Jerry, and I really, really like
Oh.
Scooby Doo. Those are the
Yeah.
two shows I've watched my entire life, and I will always rewatch because they're just so entertaining. Like, they're
Whose
so
whose side are you on, Team Tom or Team Jerry?
good. Team Tom?
I'm Team Tom now.
Yeah.
Tom.
You guys all became Team Tom because of me.
You did not like what?
Team Tom or Team Jerry?
Oh, I've always been Team Jerry.
I mean, I didn't even know there was a team for one or the other.
Oh,
I switched to Team Tom.
yes,
I used
because
to be
of
Team
I
Jerry.
know. Okay, but you and I have been Team Tom since.
I feel like Jerry's an instigator.
He is.
He is an instigator,
is,
and
and
I
he's
like him
really
for that.
mean.
I think
He's
it's
really-
great. Oh, I think it's so hard. I think I have a really special appreciation for animation movies. I think that they bring families together in a really, really exceptional way. Obviously, Kung Fu Panda, I
Oh.
think,
Oh.
might have to win my favorite movie. That movie was just absolutely insane, and we still watch it nonstop in our house. Favorite TV shows, I think Office, Mindy Project, all of those shows exceptional. I also think Tom and Jerry, I mean, they all name some of my favorites. I also do love Breaking Bad. I love Game of Thrones. I loved Silicon Valley, which was a TV
Silicon
show.
Valley
It was really
is
funny,
So good.
exceptionally funny movie, TV show. Yeah, and I also really like cooking shows.
Oh,
I love British Bake
cooking
Off.
competition.
Baking British Bake Off, like shout out Rahul from season 6. If you ever watch this, we love you. And I think
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Cutthroat Kitchen, we love.
watched it, yeah.
I also like naming two of my favorite books because I do read a lot, and if there's any bookworms who watch this podcast, that would make me happy. My favorite book at the moment is Ted Chiang's Exhalations or Stories of Your Life and Others. He writes these sci-fi short stories that like will blow your mind. They're so good. I've read every single one a million times front and back, like so great. And my favorite rom-com book is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Graham.
Okay, this has been.
Wait, I
wait.
didn't go.
Oh, you
Wait,
didn't
you're-
go. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. Go ahead.
My favorite show, How I Met Your Mother, but it's like really close with Never Have I Ever.
Oh yeah,
Whatever.
never.
And then my favorite movie is Big Hero 6 ever.
Big Hero 6.
Big what?
Big
Big
Hero
Hero 6
6.
is animation.
Oh,
It's so good.
Oh, Big Hero 6. Is it that big white character? It's that one, right?
She loves that character.
Yeah, I love that character. So this has been a fun episode about entertainment. What are you doing for entertainment? What we like to do for entertainment? What are we watching? What are we hating on? We want to hear it all. And in this episode, as we close every episode with a segment called Good Grades with Gargs, we're going to go through and each of us will assign an A grade for somebody else in this room, indicating who brought the winning moment at the podcast. And then we want to hear from you, who you think deserves the A grade. So who wants to go first with the
I'll
A
go
grade?
first.
Okay.
I think that I have to give my A grade to Bridge.
Okay.
Especially his idea about, pursuing activities and how much fun he had at this concert, and outgoing kid that he is. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna give mine to Bridge for the same reason.
I don't agree with these.
I think
two A
I think he
grades.
brings up an interesting point, and I also think that he's going against the curb, against it, against like the cultural norm of our family. Obviously, like Indian people aren't raised to like go to concerts and stuff. Like in American families, it's such a thing. Like go to concerts with their kids, and go to amusement parks. And obviously, we've done that, and our parents have been we're very lucky to have gone to do those things. But Bridge definitely breaks a cultural norm there, and I think that's hard. And I think it's great that he pursues it.
Okay, I'm evenly distributing my A grade between the whole family because I feel like it's not an episode where there's a winning move. Everybody just has their own single opinions.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my A grade to Didi because I think even though in the moment I complained a lot, there are a lot of shows that you forced me to watch that I think that now looking back at it, like iCarly, I'm happy I watched that. But in the like iCarly,
oh my God,
Victorious.
You made me watch this animation show that I just don't know.
Up.
What she was
Oh,
thinking.
I made
Up.
Dad watch Up, and he lost
Oh my God,
it.
we never talked about Avatar.
We
And the
forgot.
flying donkey. We forgot about the flying donkey.
Oh
What
my
was the
God.
animation you made me watch?
I made you watch
Up.
Up, and that
Oh
you
my
lost.
God.
Up was
That
such a sweet movie.
It was so sad, and
like-
it started off with. I
This
thought that this was going to be an
montage,
uplifting.
There's a
nice-
montage where the wife passes away and the
Oh
dad.
my
It's like
God,
it's
it's truly
beautiful.
bad.
It's wonderful, great. But we do need to spend a minute on the Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is actually my favorite TV show of all time. Thank you, Mom, for reminding me. We not only watched that show, like we watched that show
Probably
on
around 10
DVDs.
times.
We watched
We
it.
watched
Yeah,
that
we
show
have it
on
on
physical
DVDs.
DVDs. So people always talk about it because it moved to Netflix and then everyone watched it. Bridge and I and Mom and Dad and Veer, we even dragged Veer on the DVDs. We watched it all when we were growing up and when it wasn't a thing to watch it. That TV show is the most excellent TV show in the world, and it's probably
So
the most
good.
entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life.
Do you remember how we once binged the Mahabharat series?
I thought that was
It was
really.
like
fun.
100 or 200 DVDs.
You
that
watched
were-
The Mahabharat.
Yeah,
I thought you bought that for us.
I mean,
we
now
did,
it's available
but
on the internet, but at
Is
that
it?
time, yeah.
Because I would love to watch it with the kids
Yeah,
again.
it's such a
I think
complete
we're good.
story
You would
too.
love it. You would love it. Brit.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we're
such a
actually-
complete
It's
story.
such a great
I'm
story.
not watching
But my A grade today, who no one assigned, goes to me.
Oh
for
my God.
dragging these kids, for surviving years and years of screaming, crying kids who I drilled Bollywood into. And I know this is controversial. I know it's a hot take. But for me, Bollywood has been my fake real family. All the Karan Johar movies. I didn't have any other way to teach these kids even a lick of what being Indian was, what Hindi was, because you would not speak to me in Hindi.
Because you Hindi is not your native language; it's Gujarati.
What are you talking about? I grew up in Bombay.
When you spoke Hindi, I could not understand a word.
What are you talking about? Okay, we're not even going to go into the Hindi, Mumbai and Delhi. And his mother also, like, your Hindi is not very good. My Hindi is freaking perfect, okay? I was an A+ student in Hindi for years and years. So anyway, my A grade goes to me. And I want to hear from you guys who you give the A grade to. And thank you so much for joining us. This has been
Thank
amazing.
you. Bye.